takes away a little bit of the symmetry. It's very good. No, very well done. I've tried to take them several times with a lot less success than that. Next one. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's great. Excellent. Next one. Yes, Jen. Yeah. Well done. How many did you have to take to get there? It's- One can. Goodness. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, great. Well done. Next one. Jenna. Yeah, great. Got the red. Yeah. Any other comment? Next one. I'm just conscious of time. Sorry. Oh, this is me. I've time to do photographs on the day, so I look for a blue shot. And I chose this one because blue, for me, has an interest, given that I'm mainly black and white photographer, has an interesting aspect to it in that I feel that you can have either a harsh blue or you can have a soft blue. And this image, which doesn't have too much colour in it at all, the jeans look a fairly soft and relaxing blue. So that was the idea, going along with the romance that's involved. In Paris? Yeah, yeah. Next. That was in Paris too, in a cafe, and I have enhanced the red a little bit, but they had this really bright wall at the back of the cafe, and bottom part is metal sheeting, you know, that has knobs on it. So, and this, I put this in because it's the exact opposite to the other image of that soft blue, and it's very easy to make red a bit angry, and so I thought I'd just show that as against the other image. They're all taken within a few hours of each other. Next. did you try it with cropping the duck and see how it looked? I think have another play for an abstract shot of the starting with the light coloured lines at the bottom and going up, not quite to the top, so that you're really capturing the white and the red in those ripples, and just see. I think there is an abstract photograph there that will look pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, which way? Yeah. Great. No, it's good. Next. Wow. So Paul's at another meeting, I think, tonight. So what? Any comments about this one? It demands attention, doesn't it? You can tell whether you want it red, can't you? And very great shot. Putting your long eyelashes. Next. Extremely well. Any other in both of them, the eye is too, isn't it? Is that the last one? Okay. Thanks very much, everybody, for submitting those. And I haven't worked out yet what the next subject will be, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, let's have 5 minutes and be back here at 3 minutes past and we're ready to go. There's quite a lot of prints to do.
test.
Now it's live.
Hello. Oh, hello. Ding ding. We haven't got a bell. We need the blooming bell. Whatever takes your fancy at the time. Yeah, I'm just. Landscapes, if I see them, which doesn't always happen, but we'll see. Right, I better get going because we're going to be late. Hello, everybody. Can we please take our seats? Thank you. Or not. I know, I haven't got a loud voice. All right, I'll go back. We need the bell in. I don't know where it's gone. Okay, everyone, we're going to start now. Thank you for coming, and also thanks to, hello, can we have some hush, please? Otherwise, it's going to be a long night. Thank you. Thanks to John for all the hard work he puts in with his walks, and all those of you who put your images in. It was, yeah, very, very interesting, and lots of room for chatting there about it, which was good. Have we got any visitors here tonight? I can't. Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. Ian will introduce you. So before we get into the Print 2 competition, Ian wants to chat to you.
Okay, first thing I want to do is say welcome to John Cosgrove down the back there. But people have probably seen him around before, but John's the president at Rangiora. So we had some presidential chats. He's got a bit of a proposal that he's running a photo marathon that the Rangiora are going to do, but they're going to invite all the Christchurch clubs. So come along, dates TBA sometime in July probably, and probably during the weekend on a Sunday, and there'll be a whole bunch of kind of let's be a press photographer for a day kind of challenges and things like that. Sounds like fun. So watch the space, and hope we'll work with other clubs really well. I've already conned them into a potential workshop at the convention, which is a good start. So on top of that, I've got 3 things that I announced. Firstly, coming up on the program in June is 17th of June is a midwinter dinner, which we've done for a little while. The midwinter dinner started as an idea to have when we couldn't use the rooms at Riccarton, and now we can. But it's still a good thing that people like to come along to. So we're going to have a midwinter dinner here. The CWA have got a really cool caterer. Dennis has got things cracked along, and she's come up with an interesting menu. And it's going to be cheap as chips, $25. Come along. We will cover drinks or soft drinks and cakes and stuff afterwards. But basically for $25 you'll get a meal here, and there'll be a few activities had during dinner is the crux of it. So expect to see a formal announcement soon, and basically what I want you to do is essentially just pay online before you go, and that'll reserve your spot. So that's something to look at later. More details to follow on that. The second thing I want to talk about is the exhibition, and again a bit of a change to the program. Next week will be an 8 o'clock session, so that it's streamed and recorded and people watch it again, is preparing prints for exhibition, and we'll go through some things about that and what we do and exactly where we go. And then a reminder that we are starting to intake some applications effectively for the exhibition. I'm going to ask Penny to talk about that.
Hi, thanks. Just the same as what Ian said. I sent out an email a while ago, and there are now showcases on the website for each category for the exhibition. And I'd really like more people to put in some images that they would like to print for the exhibition. Up to 4 in each of the categories. So there's open, landscape, monochrome and nature. The first 2, the main deadline is for open and monochrome. So if you could look at your things and consider it doesn't have to be your finished perfect image, because obviously we haven't been through the how to edit thing yet, but it's putting in what you think you would like to print to have in the exhibition. Up to 4 images, and all the deadlines and the showcase folders are there for you to upload into. They don't have to be a giant size or anything. This is just to give an indication of what people are thinking of printing and how many we're likely to get. So if you would please consider doing that. It's not a major commitment from you to do that, and you don't have to end up printing those ones. It's just I really need an idea of who's keen to do it. So that's all I wanted to say, really. Questions, just email me or see me after the meeting. Thanks.
So just put your picture as it stands in like you did in a showcase. There's an entry there for exhibition. So you just have to put your picture in that folder, and we'll go from there. Look, what we've said, slight change of track. We originally said it had to be an image that had been accepted in a competition, but now, because we are actually accepting them, Penny's going to decide what it's going to go on. We're pretty much saying anything that you think you would like to exhibit, probably it is going to be something you've got an acceptance, but that's not a big deal. Anything you want to exhibit, enter it in the database. It's not committing you anything, it's just putting your hand up to say, yes, I'm keen to be involved. So I'd actually like everybody to go home over the next few days and stick one in. There's a good number of monochrome at the moment. Yeah, 4. Stick 4 in. 4 in each category.
So that means that if your picture has already been accepted, it's in your image library. So you won't be able to upload it again. You have to load it from your image library from in your account on the website. Just remember that. Otherwise you'll be flummoxed.
Good point. Any more questions? Okay, the fourth, whatever I'm up to. There was the PSNZ convention that we're running next year has just happened this year. So last week, and all good reports coming back from there. But there was a presentation that needed to be made there that couldn't be. So I'm going to ask John on behalf of PSNZ, because he's a councillor, to make a presentation.
Thank you, Ian. Well, this year CPS only had one member I'm aware of that got an award this year, and that was Francesca Davies. She achieved her LPSNZ. Francesca. Congratulations. There's a badge inside. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, John. Oh, that's me, all done. Thank you.
Oh, well done, Francesca. Excellent. You have to show us your pictures at some stage. That would be great. Okay, so we might turn the lights down and we're going to get on with print. Oh, in a minute. Oh, I've got to read this. Print 2 was judged by Kushla Moorhead, who's actually judged for us before. She lives out in Pegasus, but obviously has decided not to come tonight. I correspond with the judges periodically through the process so that I let them know when the boxes are being posted, and they let me know when they're coming back. And she said, it's always a pleasure to judge your club's prints, as they are always very well presented and a credit to you. So there you go, I thought I'd tell you that as well. So she says, hello everyone, I'm Kushla Moorhead. I came back to my home province of Canterbury 2 years ago and now live in Pegasus, where I am enjoying photographing the birds on the lake, especially the grebes when they are close enough. I am an artist and photographer. I have my diploma of digital photography and a diploma of art and creativity. I take photos of anything that catches my eye and gives me pleasure. I enjoy experimenting with new ideas, and I do a lot of flower photography because it's easily available. I enjoy being an accredited judge for the PSNZ because I get to see lots of different photography. Thank you once again for inviting me to be your judge. So, over to Dawn.
Score 1, curves. The curve in the foreground and the spike reaching up to the top catch my eye. I find it confusing and it doesn't flow for me. There is light and shade from forms, and then there is a pale area on the left. I think the choice of black and white was appropriate, as it eliminates any distracting colours. I like the lines that sweep up in the spike. Score 1, leaf. The leaf stands out in the image because of its lighter colour against the cool colours of the other plants. I like the slight curvature of the stem as I follow it down. The leaflets of the right-hand side lack detail, which would give it more definition. I find the background is more interesting to look at with the variation in colour and texture. Score 1, blue satin wake. I like the title as it gives a description of how the wake looks. I'm wondering if the satin look would have been enhanced if it was printed on glossy paper. There is rhythm in the patterns and lines in the wake. I feel there needs to be a focal point to hold my attention. The colour and the light do give a smooth effect. Score 1, West Coast Sunset. I like the differing bands of colour in this image. There is a lot of movement in the sea, and I can imagine the pounding of the surf. I feel the image is oversaturated and underexposed. The very bright area of the sun keeps my attention, and some of the rest is difficult to see. It is hard for a camera to cope with the wide contrast in light. Sometimes stacking can be the answer, or simply exposing for the light, and another image exposing for the darker areas, and then putting them together in an editing program, which is still stacking, but any camera can do this. Score 1, Coastal Palette. It certainly shows the coastal palette of muted colours. I'm wondering what the lighter colour is. There is an arrow shape pointing to the frame, which is quite strong and takes my eye out of the frame. The lines of the colours running on a diagonal give some flow. I feel that there isn't a strong focal point apart from that light patch. My eye tends to roam rather than have somewhere to settle. Score 1, African Hoopie Pupa Africana, one of the most distinctive, run out of time. What an interesting bird. Its colouring blends in so well with its habitat, and yet it is distinctive. The depth of field has blurred, although I feel a stronger blur would have created better separation of the bird. The eye has a catchlight and seems to be looking at me. There are some feathers on its head that are blurred. I feel some darkening of the foreground would give more emphasis to the hoopie. The foreground leads into the bird as there are faint lines of small ridges going up to it. Score 1, Martial Eagle. I like how the bird has been isolated by having the sky as the background, so the eagle is easy to see. The tree branches give the illusion of a frame for the eagle. The bird and the tree are blurred. It may be it is some camera shake, as nothing is sharp. There is interesting texture in the wood. She's given a score of 6, technical proficiency, use of colour and light, 6, average rating. I don't know if that's meant to be there. No. I won't read the next one. Score 1, Windblown. Using wax on the print has changed the surface and of course protects the print. I like that marks are in the wax, yet I feel some of them are counterproductive as they go across the lines of the grass and not with it. The way the light has caught the stalks of grass has added life to it and also helped give depth to the image. I feel the top area of light green, although well placed on the third, is disconnected from the rest of the image, which leaves the area of grass in the bottom third with all the interest. Score 1, Waiting for a Ride. I like the use of this technique for this image. It gives a different context to the tram and the people waiting. I feel it would have made a stronger image if the tram had been further from the edge of the frame, as my eyes tend to stay on the left. This is exaggerated by the darker tones of the rest of the image. There are areas that are blown out, such as the tram lights and the space beside it. The colours are harmonious, with the yellow of the tram making a bright spot and so drawing my attention. Score 2, Landscape Open Print, Volcanic Activity in Indonesia. The light shining across the volcanic cones shows the many ridges of the landscape. The white plume of smoke rising for the vent attracts my attention, probably from the vent. Then my eye goes to the other plume of smoke. Even though it is grey and stays in the background, for me it competes with the white one for attention, giving a ping-pong effect for me. It feels like quite a scary landscape to be in, yet so interesting with the many vents and ridges. Score 2, Natural History, Funeral Bell, Gallerina Margarinata. The definition of the stalk and the gills show me details of this fungi. I find the top of it has too much light on the left at the top, so the detail is missing. The blurry spots in the foreground, especially the one on the bottom right, I find is distracting for me as it keeps catching my eye. There is good separation at the top of the fungi with the background. Score 2, Abstract of Decay. This image reminds me of a mosaic piece in the way the decay has cracked the surface. These are a different texture to the rest of the image, which act as a foil for the cracks. The colours complement each other, yet it feels that they are unbalanced because the terracotta colour is much warmer than the cooler turquoise, so that brings the left side of the print forward, in my view. The turquoise fades back. When I first looked at this image, I automatically put the stronger colour at the bottom until I saw which way up it went. Maybe that is something to think about. The dark matte gives strength to the colours, I feel. Score 3, Acceptance, Star Trails over Aoraki. The star trails bring the sky to life, I feel. It is in contrast with the solidity of the landscape below. The car light trails on the road add some colour to the otherwise monochromatic scene and also take my eyes further round the image. I like the low horizon that makes the most of the star trails. Score 3, Acceptance, view of St John's Anglican Church, Fremantle, with bronze statue of sculpture Pietro somebody. I like the way the tree arches over the view of the building and the dapple shade under it creates a frame that takes me through the image to the building. It's a pity that the whole window isn't on view. The statue adds to the scenery and is an interesting touch. The sunlight shining on the area in front of the wall and on the wall with the window keeps my attention fully on it. I feel that using black and white was a good choice, which strips this image to the basics of the church. School 3, Acceptance, Twilight at Hokitika Beach. The muted pastel colours create a feeling of peace for me. The subtle light path across the waves leads me into the image. It feels as if the horizon slopes slightly to the left, although it might be the wisps of fog that are creating that. The dark sand, bottom right, anchor and ground the image in my view. The contrast in the water defines the waves and gives movement. School 3, Acceptance, Tarawera Falls. The waterfall holds my attention with the strength of the water. There is detail in all of the white water, which can be hard to achieve. I like the way the light falls across the falls. I know the light catches bits of the bush, like it does in this image, yet I feel some post-processing or a vignette could have eliminated these and made the lighting more cohesive. I like the angle of the falls and how the water is a leading line into the falls themselves. Score 3, Acceptance, PJ, Splash. Splash, a very appropriate title for this image. The slow shutter speed has caught the droplets of water to show the detail. I feel that although there is a lot of light colour, a true white is missing, and that would give contrast and depth, as I feel it is a bit flat. I love the way the action has been caught. Score 3, Acceptance, New Regent Street, Carbon Transfer, Trichrome. I know very little about this method of printing, but commend the author for doing something different, as it is always interesting to see new things. I feel this technique suits this image as the colours produced fit with the ambience of New Regent Street. I find the roofline on the top right a distraction, as it is visually quite heavy against the light feel of all the other elements. The ethereal look of the people adds a cohesive look to the scene. Score 3, Acceptance, Shades of the Rainbow. I love the colours in this image. This is like a kaleidoscope and takes me back to childhood and the wonder of the patterns and how they changed. The band of light makes a contrast with the darker area round the frame and so draws my attention to the colours in the centre. I would have liked to see light on all of the rough triangular shape between the balls on the right third. This shape keeps drawing my eye as it is bigger and stands out because of its difference amongst the myriads of other shapes and colours. Score 3, Acceptance, Landscape, Beautiful Beach. It's the textures in this image that catch my eye first. There is a delightful variety of them. The scalloped edges of the waves create patterns along the sand. The three fishermen add some colour to the muted scene. I feel they are too low in the image, as they tend to draw my eye down and then out of the frame. I know it is not always possible to get elements in the right position. If they had been up on the third, I feel the image would have been stronger and more cohesive. The slightly warmer colours of patches of land give it depth tonally. Score 3, acceptance, variable oyster catcher, Turia Pango with young natural history. The story is well portrayed with the 2 chicks waiting to be fed. The habitat adds colour to the story. I feel the image is a tad flat, and adding some contrast would give it depth. The adult bird is slightly soft, which I feel is a depth of field issue, as the chicks are sharp. I like the triangle made by the adult and the chicks, which give it some flow. Score 3, acceptance, rocks and flow. It is the delicacy of the subtle pastel colours that catches my eye in this image. The slow shutter speed enhances the water. I like the way the line of rocks is on the diagonal to add some depth. My eyes tend to flick between the middle blue rock and the creamy water just in front of it, which suggests to me that more variation in the contrast might settle that. I realise that it is probably the colour of the rock beneath the water. The image to me has lots of different aspects which I find interesting in themselves, yet don't feel cohesive to me. I love the touches of bright green. Score 3, acceptance, landscape, godly head, cyanotype over silverleaf. I do have a little knowledge of cyanotype, but as they say, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. What I like is graduation of the tones of blue that show off the elements in this image. This works well in the sky, with the slight colour in the top down to the lighter area at the bottom, which draws my sight down to the small tree. The other trees, with 2 on one side and 1 on the other, balanced and frame the small tree, and the way they are leaning gives movement to the print. Score 4, high acceptance, landscape ridges. The people who are toiling up the ridgeline make this image for me. Those dots catch my eye, and then my eye travels down again and round the other ridges. The pattern of the lines going down from the ridge in the front echo the line of the ridge with the people. The light and shade on the sandhills add depth and context to the images. There is a light diamond shape where the ridges meet that anchors the image, giving it more body, in my view. Score 4, high acceptance, Hoya. The light being behind the Hoya flower draws my attention to it and makes it the focal point. I like the textured background that adds to the image, yet leaves gives separation from the flower. The stem and leaves lead me into the image. I feel the flower head could be moved slightly more to the left, but only a tad to give some better balance in my view. It has a serene feeling about it. School 4 High Acceptance Zebras. I think this is a delightful image. The placement of the two zebra feels balanced. Something has obviously caught their attention as they look alert. The image is sharp so that I can see the chin here of the front one in detail. They seem like mirror images in the colour frame, one being more black and the other more white. Putting this in monochrome shows the details to advantage, I feel. School 4 High Acceptance on the River. This image, for me, has the feel of an old style painting with the slight blur which gives that painterly look. The colour palette is muted, which suits that feel. The punt is placed on the diagonal, which gives movement to the image. I can almost feel the water slipping quietly by. It feels like summer and picnics. School 4 High Acceptance Stella. This feels peaceful and yet full of possibilities. The colour in the sky silhouettes the hut and pole, drawing my attention to them. I can see faint details in the land surrounding it. The sky is full of the light of a myriad of stars. I find the two areas of blurred white a bit distracting. I'm sure they have a name, but to me they disturb the overall balance of the image. I think the white mat gives more emphasis to the darkness in the image. I like the simplicity of the hut and yet the complexity of the sky. School 4 High Acceptance snowed in Japan. I can imagine the cold and see the flakes still falling, adding atmosphere to the image. The white of the snow is offset by the darkness of the building, which anchors it in my mind. The inclusion of the trees in the background give depth to the scene, as it is difficult when everything is white to see this. A small comment on the title. When I read snowed in, it gave me a feeling, yet when it continued Japan, it made it less personal to me. I suggest that unless the place is important, to leave it out, as an image like this can be anywhere, and it is that personal connect that can be important. I wonder what this would look like with a black mat. I think the snow would have more emphasis, maybe. The composition has been well handled, with the building on the third and the horizon below halfway, making it all feel cohesive. School 5 High Acceptance Shimmering Splash. Honours. This image looks like some form of glass sculpture to me. The flow of the form is amazing when I think it is a splash, yet caught by a fast shutter speed. The monochrome of all the blue tones enhances the shapes. It is cohesive and balanced to me. I like the simplicity of the image. School 5 Honours Mandarin Cocktail Splash. It amazes me what a very fast shutter speed can capture at times. The movement of the liquid in the glass has so many nuances and patterns. I feel the highlights could have been strengthened, for the print has. I feel the highlights could have been strengthened, for the print has. They are a bit dark to see the full effect unless under strong light. The addition of the mandarin slice gives a pop of colour to make a focal point that supports all the movement of the liquid, even spilling down the stem and making more patterns. The simplicity of the background complements the patterns and the rest of the image. Score 6 honours Best in Show, portrait open print fisherman from Xingping, China. This portrait stood out for me because of the strength of how this man is portrayed. I feel the lighting gives structure to his face and shows the character. It also highlights details in his hair and beard. I find the white bit on the right side of his neck a bit disconcerting and feel it could have been darkened. Apart from that, the way he is positioned in the frame forms a diagonal which feels as if he is moving forward and is busy. I think the black mat was a good choice as it fades the frame into the background and puts the emphasis on the fisherman.
Thanks for reading that, Dawn. Diana, would you like to come up? Thank you. Sitting stiff. It's quite dark, isn't it? Yeah. Do we need the lights on? Should we have the lights on, do you think? If you don't mind, John. It's a bit dark to read. Oh, there we go. Right. Is that going to spoil the screen for everyone or no? Okay, so we'll start with the accepted and I don't know if Rach Evans Star Trails. Is she here, Rach? Next image. View of St. John's Anglican Church, Fremantle by Karen McConaughey. I know that picture. I know it. I know exactly where that is. Yes. I can feel the heat radiating off the building. Right, so the next acceptance is a Twilight at Hokitika Beach, Shirley Wilson. Congratulations. And another acceptance, Tarawera Falls, Ian Walls. We've got Splash by Yan Yuan, please, if she's here. No. And Stuart Cluck, New Regent Street, Carbon Transfer, Tricombe. Very cool. Congratulations. And Shades of the Rainbow, Diana. Want to make hands with yourself? And Beautiful Beach, Anne Yuan, not here. Variable Oyster Catcher, Jane Barnes. Oh, you'll take it, will you? Right, thank you. Rocks and Flow, Penny Kennedy. And Stuart Cook with Godly Head Cyanotype over Silverleaf. I like that one. Yes, nice. Yeah, I like that one as well. Ridges by Neroli Keating. Hoya, Dunkirk. Don't go away. Zebras. Zebras by Dunkirk. Oh, hang on. They're out of. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I'd been through them. Yeah, I did go through them. Okay, my apologies. Oh, it's there. Oh, yes. I went through them, so they should be in order. Right, sorry. Sorry, Dawn. On the River, Adrian Gentleman. And Stella, Rach Evans. Sorry, she's not here as well. Snowed In, Japan, Karen McConaughey. That's all. That's all right. Shimmering Splash, Jane Barnes. Sorry, apologies. Put my teeth back in. And then we've got Mandarin Cocktail Splash, Nicola Jackson. Congratulations. And honours and best in show goes to Alistair with Fisherman from Xinping, China. Sorry, is that right? Xinping. Congratulations. Right, thank you, Diana. Can you manage? Just a minute. Okay, I was just going to help you. Super. All right, lovely. Okay, so if we've got, if everyone's happy, we'll go through some of the images.
This was taken probably to the day last year. It was in Yangshuo in China, or Xinping, which is a little village near Yangshuo, which is in Guilin. Beautiful landscapes, karst mountains, absolutely stunning landscapes, and stunning people as well. Photography is a funny old thing. I mean, I crashed and burnt with my first print tonight, the volcanoes in Indonesia, and I thought that one would do all right, but this one, yeah, it's a funny thing. So you never can tell. Okay, yeah, crazy. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Alistair. We'll go back. Nicola. How did you do that?
There's a filter in Photoshop that we actually picked up a little bit of a hint when we went to a workshop with Helen McLeod, actually. And there was, yeah, so it's actually doing quite well, this little one. So, but it's just a normal mandarin splashed in the glass of water, but it's the filter on top of it that's cleaned it up, and I really like the effect that it's done on it. It's not a normal filter. It's yeah, it's up in the right somewhere, blah, blah, blah. And there's one that's called Arty Farty and Paste. Yeah, there's different one. The painterly things, like there's, is it what they're called? Yeah, 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 yeah. And that, yeah, so it was like, oh, and when we found it when we were together, Francesco? It was like, oh, look at this. This is cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's just playing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just play. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice. Interesting. Oh, Jane's not here. Sorry. That's a particularly nice one. Oh, Karen, you don't want to talk. It's lovely. I know. I know. Whereabouts in Japan? Hokkaido. Yeah, yeah, I know where that is. Yeah, I've been. The snow is insanely deep. It's amazing. You see men on the roofs, and they're shoveling snow off that's way over their heads. It's like another story of snow. It's insane, and so quiet. It's beautiful. Sorry, I enjoyed the snow. I like the snow. Rach, I'm afraid, is not here. Adrian's not here. Oh, anybody else? Dawn, do you want to tell us about your zebras? No? Yes? Oh, thank you.
It's just what you get when you have a 500mm lens out the window of your vehicle and the zebras won't back up. Although I did print that on a different paper, which I don't usually bother, but it had a bit more texture to it, so I thought that was quite nice. Might use that again.
They are sort of opposites with their print.
It's amazing how many different.
Searching for.
Yeah.
And that makes it sort of an added layer of interest as well. I think you did well with your 500 lens leaning back. Very nice. And then I think yours is the next one.
Mm? Mm.
Do you want to talk about your flower?
Well, the only interesting thing about this one is that it combines my two passions, because the Hoya, I've got lots of them growing, and the texture is what you get when you're taking a photo of a kingfisher and it flies away. You get a very nice muted background.
Yeah, I keep the blurry ones.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes I actually, even if I'm doing flowers, just turn it out of focus as well, so you get that extra that you with the bokeh in it that you can use.
Yeah, but it's more fun when you do it by accident.
Yeah, I got a few of them as well. I'm sure we all have. Yeah, it's called being creative. Right. Do we want to go any further back? How's everybody for time? Nerily, would you like to? Yeah. Sorry, you have to. Oh, okay. Use that one, Dawn. Okay, thank you.
They're the Tapaki sand dunes in Northland.
Oh.
So, not this time. I have been another time, but not this time.
I'm sorry. Where were the sand dunes?
Just down from Cape Reinga.
Oh. I did not know we had sand dunes.
No,
I was going to say
no,
Namibia as
in New
well, because I
Zealand.
have no idea. Wow. Is it 90 miles?
Sort of near there, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I know you've got such variety. I don't have to go to Namibia now to see a sand dune. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. Well, I think for everybody, I think anything else? Anybody want to add anything tonight? You may. A whatting question? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. No, on a digital. They can do, but they shouldn't for the thumbnails for prints. Not. Yeah. No, I draw their attention to that. The thumbnails that go with the prints are low res, and they are only to use for reference. Well, in theory, they can do up to I think, because most judges will go up to and they up to 100%. That they can do that, I believe. Well, they nitpick. Put them in a print then, because they can't zoom in then. And that is why, and that is why a lot of the professionals print, and they print quite small in the very big mat. And I remember asking a landscape photographer, Aaron Dowling, who was in Perth. He was Canadian, and he managed to win Landscape Photographer of the Year a couple of times in Australia. And I said, why do you print so small? Because we're at Camera Club and we print big. And he said, well, so they can't see all the problems that are in the image. So I figured so that you use the giant map with this tiny little picture in it. So this, maybe we can start thinking like that a little bit and just shrink them all down instead of giving them too much to look at, basically. So anyway, thank you, everyone. I'd like to, you have, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Alan, Ian can answer that. I think being a. Yeah. No. But I mean, I understand from what my understanding. Then technically they read it, but they're not supposed. It's not supposed to. Yeah. 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 But yeah. But I would have thought initially when you've put all the prints out, you look at the prints and then afterwards you look at the titles because you're basically laying all the prints out. Yeah, so technically, no. And I think from what I understand about competition, the title shouldn't play any part in the judging. Maybe in nature. I don't know about nature. But yeah, nature's different from, and I'm just thinking of other competitions generally. So I don't know. Yeah, I suppose somebody could do some research and find out. But I think the PSNZ rules, I think you look at them, but I don't think it's supposed to fully influence, from what I can gather. But I don't know. Okay. Thank you to Alistair, who's gone because he opened up tonight. I don't know who the T Dennis, is he hiding there? Oh, sorry, Chris, as well. And the boys on sound, we have Alan and Alistair and Gordon. Dawn for reading, and thank you all for coming. Sorry? One more thing.
I wasn't going to comment about the competition, but the fact that we've got so many great images up here tonight, and next year, as Ian mentioned, we've got the convention in Christchurch. We want to see a whole lot more CPS members enter their images for honours. There's certainly plenty of people in CPS who will be able to help you put them together, and I think Ian has actually got a few sessions set up this year to help people do their best to get their honours. So you need to be a member of PSNZ to get your honours. Oh, you get it now. Club member, yeah. To enter the national salon, you need to be a member. Yeah. Price. Yes, they have gone up. So do we, don't worry.
Yes. So, all right. Well, safe drive home, and thank you all for coming. And see you next week. Oh yeah. Yeah. Be careful.